Wednesday morning, Michael Patrick Shields. It's raining cats and dogs in the capital and around certain parts of the state. How do I know it's raining cats and dogs? I stepped in a poodle. I don't get that little snare thing for that. I thought that was funny myself. Not really funny. Funny, though, Casey Kasem's birthday. You know, the guy who said, we're counting him down, and he gave you all the American Top 40 or whatever it was on radio. Well, he was also the voice of Shaggy on Scooby-Doo, if you didn't know that. It was the weekly Top 40 countdown. And he is 79 today. And he's in the Radio Hall of Fame. And the reason I'm so interested in him is he came from Wayne State University in Detroit. And there is a very famous blooper that you may or may not have heard of Casey Kasem when he was recording his weekly Top 40 countdown show. And here's a little inside look at radio, a listen, if you will, to Casey Kasem.
We're up to our long-distance dedication. And this one is about kids and pets and a situation that we can all understand, whether we have kids or pets or neither. It's from a man in Cincinnati, Ohio. And here's what he writes. Dear Casey, this may seem to be a strange dedication request, but I'm quite sincere, and it'll mean a lot if you play it. Recently, there was a death in our family. He was a little dog named Snuggles, but he was most certainly a part of... Let's start again. From coming out of the record. Play the record, okay? Please. See, when you come out of those up-tempo numbers, man, it's impossible to make those transitions, and then you got to go into somebody dying. You know, they do this to me all the time. I don't know what the hell they do it for, but if we can't come out of a slow record, I don't understand it. Is Don on the phone? Okay, I want a concerted effort to come out of a record that isn't a tempo record every time I do a death dedication. Now, make it, and I also want to know what happened to the pictures I was supposed to see this week. Because last time, I want somebody to use his brain to not come out of a record that is that's up-tempo, and I got to talk about a dog dying.
Happy birthday, Casey Kasem. Equally tempestuous, there have been 34 tornado sightings from northeastern Texas to western Kentucky and Mississippi as of 11:30 last night. These tornadoes have caused extensive damage in Arkansas, Mississippi, and Texas. Tractor trailers being blown right across the highway, if you can imagine that. And so it's a very dangerous day, the kind of day when tornadoes could cause massive destruction, coming again today to the Midwest. We've been spared so far in Michigan for the most part, although there was some violent weather yesterday. But can you imagine that many tornadoes and that concentrated an area? The cleanup is underway in West Michigan. We were hit with hail, heavy rain, and high winds. Severe weather yesterday had golf ball-sized hail in some areas. Possible tornadoes touched down in Allegan County. Serious damage reported at a Salem Township turkey farm and a landscaping business in Burnips. And lightning, if you can believe that, in Portage. 10 people recovering from injuries suffered when they were hit by lightning in Portage. Firefighters say youth soccer groups were practicing last night at Westfield Park when the lightning struck the victims, ranging from middle school age to adults. Victims were taken to Bronson and Borges hospitals, and you cannot take chances when it comes to lightning, whether you're playing golf or practicing soccer. If you can hear thunder, that means there's lightning. And I was playing golf with Fred Couples one time in Dearborn, and there was just the slightest rumble, and this was at a charity event in the distance, and his eyes lit up, and he headed straight for the cart, and he said, I'm out of here. Even though it looked like a nice day, that little rumble of thunder was enough for Fred Couples to say, see ya, and he was gone. So don't take chances when it comes to lightning. If you can hear thunder, that means there's lightning, and even though it might seem like it's a long way away, it can move fast. I'm sorry, very, very sorry to speak this early to Jim Brandstetter this morning, the voice of the Michigan Wolverines and Detroit Lions on radio, and a Wolverine alum. He knows by now, of course, that Jim Mandich, who played an instrumental role on Bo Schembechler's first team, lost his battle with cancer and died at the age of 62. Jim, I'm sorry, but we had to call you, and I really wanted to get your reaction.
Well, I appreciate it, Michael. Obviously very sad. One of the great icons, I think, in Michigan football history has kind of gone away. It's been tough this year. We lost Rod Kramer last fall, Veda Murray a couple weeks ago, and then Jim Mandich yesterday. So it's been kind of tough. But Jim was a guy that was a symbol of that Schembechler era, because he was the first captain of a Schembechler coach team, and the team that upset Ohio State 24-12 in 1969, which kind of kicked the Schembechler era off. And as a member of that team, I'll always remember Jim as, I think, one of the great leaders that Michigan football has had on their teams.
Yeah, and he, like you, went into broadcasting in Miami, and when I was the producer for J.P. McCarthy, J.P. used to love talking to Jim Mandich from down there in Miami, especially on Ohio State week.
Oh, he was, first of all, he was an unabashed Michigan lover.
Yeah.
And his nickname was Mad Dog. He had an infectious passion and enthusiasm for Michigan football, and football for, the Miami Dolphins also. Their community has lost a great one. And he was a guy that just, he loved what he did, and he loved the game, and he loved the places he played. He had a great loyalty to them. And he let it show, which is, I think, what you should do when you have that kind of passion.
Yeah, age 62 is way too young, and
Yes, it is.
Near as I can understand, the same cancer that took Ernie Harwell in his 90s, bile duct cancer, very rare.
Very rare. I think a little bit different. I know that Jim was getting some different kinds of treatment for it. Mm-hmm. I visited with him in December when the Lions were down there, and we had a chance to sit and talk for 15, 20 minutes, and he was putting up the good fight, and really a very, very strong guy that, again, what you'd expect from a Michigan captain, and a leader, and a guy that didn't complain, that put his head down and went to work despite the odds against him.
We're all blue this morning, Jim Brandstetter. Very sorry for your loss and the loss of Jim Mandich, the Bo Schembechler's first football captain.